It is said, and it is true, we are responsible for our own healing. And still, you need to arrive there first, in that state of mind. Your mentality needs to be first and foremost. Your mental state needs to be ready to take responsibility. Sometimes I think that's one of the biggest parts we're missing. And so how? How do you become ready to take responsibility for your own healing? How? If you don't have the loving support or loving support system of a family, let's say you're the lower percentile, the higher percentile, non-celebrity. You didn't come from a privileged family, or you're low on the family dynamics. Maybe the black sheep. No backing, no support system. Perhaps you've even been gaslighted. If this is you, in any shape, form, or fashion, if anything that I just said resonates with you in any way, I invite you, keep watching. This is for you. Surprising. We are responsible for our own healing. And so, how? How do you become ready to take responsibility for your own healing? And actually, let's take a second here and let those 4 words just kind of sink in. BRTR. Begin to be. In a suitable state for an activity, action, or situation. Fully prepared. An amount of something gained or acquired from one source or in one session. The state or fact of having a duty to deal with something or of having control over someone, in this case, yourself. Become ready. Take responsibility. Those 4 words are the most powerful to think, to care about, you know? You have to feel it and to focus your attention on it and speak it to create that strong foundation, right? And so now what you've done in preparation, how you've become ready, sets the precedence for that foundation. And so, if you are ill prepared, and nature versus nurture, an environment has an astronomical impact on this. And if you didn't become ready first, well then, you will more than likely have a lifetime of start-overs, and you will attract a lot of negative opinions, and judgments will be passed and placed on you. It will begin to isolate you, right? So, let's become ready together. How do we do that? And what does it look like for people who are unwanted, forgotten? Seriously, what happens when you don't have a support system? How do you do that then? Take responsibility for your own healing. What does that look like? What are you supposed to do? Let's say you're to the extreme and you're sunken in so deep that you're literally living on the streets. And the only place that you have is a library somewhere. So you don't have to get arrested or hassled by the police for sitting down and taking a break. That was me. That was me. I get it. Cold, especially in the wintertime. Snow, holes in shoes. And you know what? The library wasn't just a warm place to go, right? I'd rent those earphones, because it's a library. and I'd watch those motivational videos. Will Smith, my favorite. But with the strong intent, with it triggering something, a whole lot more than hope. And you know what? I'm proud of myself for this. Because for all that I went through, I didn't lose my faith. I kept hope. I may have had to wake it up a bit. Or I may have been uncertain. Still, I never lost hope or faith. And I'm proud of myself for that. Another Phoenix moment. But so how? How to become ready? Because realistically speaking, if you're a non-celebrity, a no-name, you are below the poverty lines, perhaps living in the ghetto or the projects, maybe in the hood. And I mention these because within society, they each have their own structure and dynamics, and a whole different society, a world on their own. And perhaps you're homeless. Maybe you're low on the totem pole within your family dynamics, dubbed the black sheep, maybe even disowned, unwanted, forgotten. And hey, maybe you lost your children to the state. Well, those motivational speeches from the higher up celebrities, preachers, well-to-do bloodlines, the privileged ones, the ones struggling but now privileged. Well, hey, there's all certainly in the news with all they give back, at least some of it. But still, it never seems to trickle down to help you. And no matter how long it lasts, like an addictive drug, you eventually crash with nowhere else to turn except to the feeling it gave you before. Well, they start to look unattainable, no matter what you keep hearing them say. And yeah, and you hear none of their mistakes. Or, okay, no, none of their past mistakes. But sometimes. But it's just mentioned, not really talked about. And when it is, it's by them or a loved one. And it's so edited and controlled. And it's nothing like everyone in the projects discovering your mistake. How are you supposed to become ready to take responsibility, to heal yourself with all that on top of the trauma or traumas that have taken place? How? And let's face it, it's not like life is just going to stop. So you can take a minute and heal before you go on. Especially if you're poor and lack a solid support system. Now hold on to your cookies here. If you have children, now children are a blessing, no doubt. No doubt. They are a blessing. And on the other side of the coin, nobody tells. Get it? See what I did there? Coin, heads or tails. Oh my God, anyways. So if you are parenting the right way and by society's standards, it doesn't matter, left or right-winged. If you're parenting the right way, that usually means you're supposed to completely neglect yourself or you're a bad parent. So on the other side of the coin, children can not only slow your ability to heal, they can completely stop the process or put it on hold until they grow to care more for themselves as adults. This is more than a problem that has been kept so quiet. It's an epidemic. And I'm talking about mothers, parents, who have no support system. What does it look like then? And how do you become ready to take responsibility for your own healing? I can guarantee you, it doesn't look the same as some entertainer, nor does it get heard or listened to the same. It doesn't get felt, or even more important, cared for the same, since it doesn't fit its more romanticized visuals. How? How do you become ready to heal? Step 1, you have to let it all go. Have to let it go, okay? Let it go. It will serve you up no good. And when you don't, it truly becomes a detriment. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, and socially. Socially, it could be a detriment to your character, right? Because the people that did it to you, well, they are not going to let it go. And this is 100% true if they've gained in any way from your downfall. And if they have against you formed in groups and high numbers. Numbers, right? Math. Oh, Lord. A phoenix nerd moment. Math. Think of in terms of math. Well, the bullshit it causes will just keep multiplying and adding and doing nothing but taking away from you. So you take away, you know what I'm saying? Minus that shit. and remove yourself out of the equation. Problem solved. And if you're trying to let it all go, yet with no support system, disowned, unwanted, forgotten, you know what I say? You know what I say? Stop giving them the credit for it. Oh, stop! Don't you see? Yes, the act of casting you out. Yes, they did it. But perhaps it was the devil's work. Seems to be the popular go-to. Why? Why give him the credit? Feed him all that power. We should no longer look at it that way. Focus. And to focus your attention, your care inward, where God is, where strength is. So with this mind state, right, this more positive frame of mind, well, it now becomes, it wasn't them or the devil who isolated you. It was your higher self. And it was the Most High removing you out of that negative pattern you were somehow caught up in and couldn't find a way to climb out of. He removed you, and by any means necessary. And it was not an easy, clean, or delicate removal, because it was an energy situation. And you were removed. And it did hurt, yes. But you were removed with your breath and life force intact. So give the credit to our Heavenly Father. How? How? From this point in the isolation, how do you let go so that you become ready to heal yourself? And what does it look like when you've lost everything? Well, I'll tell you. There is no answer. Because it's going to look like how the fuck you say it's going to look like, depending on what level you are and what level you are on your journey. Or you can choose for it to look like how someone else says or thinks or feels it should. It is your journey, right? Letting go. The art of letting go is going to depend on your situation, your own individual plight, your journey, and where you are with your personal relationship with the Most High. So I won't be the one to tell you what that is supposed to look like or how you are supposed to go about doing it. Still, perhaps I may be of service to you by providing you clarity on how to do it for yourself. Help you hold up your light. Together our paths can be brighter, the way made more clear. For myself, the act of letting go. Well, the first step is breaking my silence. If you have been silented, my heart truly does go out to you. But for me, that silence must be broken. A friend once told me, if you don't tell your story, they will get away with it. To begin the next video, I will start my story and I will begin to break my silence. And I will end this video with a quote from someone I was never privileged to meet. But I truly have an upheld respect for. This quote comes from the incomparable Maya Angelou. There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. And remember, it is not just your spirituality that can define your journey. It is your journey that can define your spirituality. Bless you all. Thank you for watching. And join this community by subscribing to this channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss out on what is to come.